This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and I absolutely loathe this kind of packaging because of all the reflections that we get on it. Makes it kind of a pain in the butt to try to review these. But today we're looking at the Monster High Wednesday crossover figure of Wednesday Addams in her school uniform. On the side of the box here, we get a picture of Wednesday on her own. On the other side of the box, we just get the name logo thingy. And on the back of the box, we get some information as well as another picture of Wednesday Addams.
The private thoughts of Wednesday Addams. Keep out or risk dismemberment. All accomplished novelists keep journals, so I am starting to record my most macabre and morbid observations. Today was particularly uneventful. Instead of a typical near-death experiences and homicidal monster encounters, I was blackmailed into doing manicures with Enid and Thing. Thankfully, I already owned nail polish in the chilling shade of charcoal. It complements my black soul quite nicely. Turns out, roommate and appendage quality time isn't synonymous with mind-numbing misery after all. And I will save you my reading of the French translation there, because I can barely speak English as it is. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up. So the opposite of Enid, right? We've got her side of the room, which if I kept the back of Enid's box, maybe I can actually do a nice full image of the room for a background. Or at least in the thumbnails. Oh, cute. Oh, I hate when they freaking do like the little tabs on the clothing like that. Look, it didn't tear. The little plastic thing is still stuck. How do I get it out of there? Alright, so let's start off with, she comes with Thing. And Thing is shaped, I think, generally so you can kind of fit him on the, on her shoulder or on her arm. Or just hanging around like that. Now we put him up there for now. She's got a backpack. Or, yeah, backpack. School bag. Handle there. Actually opens up. Well, that's kind of interesting. So she's got a scorpion on one side, and it's got this big old empty spot there. And then she's got a cello on her other heel. I don't know. I don't mind the front of the boots, but this is kind of one of those things where they got a little bit too ridiculous on the heels. And unfortunately, what's sad, actually, is that this actually is a fairly stable shoe. This one, the heel doesn't even touch the ground. I mean, you can kind of get her to balance on the one side, but yeah, it's hard to tell here, but yeah, there's a gap there between the ground and her cello bottom. They decided to get clever by having her fingers in the snapping position. So that tells us that Monster High dolls can in fact have hands that do things. So how about some that actually hold on to items rather than have the stupid little things on everything that you just slip on the fingers and hands and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Her fingernails are painted. Ah, shoot. Had to take the little thingy out of the back of her head.
All right, so her fingernails are painted. That's nice. She's got a really good head sculpt. I did not notice any eye wonk when I looked at her at the store, which is good because there's only 2 at the time. Although I bought her like I think a week ago, and then just this weekend I did see that one of the Walmarts had a whole bunch of her in stock, so she's finally showing up regularly, which is good because I do have the alternate outfit to also review with her. So I will probably want to have a second doll so I can display both versions. Back looks kind of like that. Her hair is done in tight braids, and they are very tightly done, so that's nice. I don't know how many people would actually take her braids out, but then again, if you're given this doll, although this doll is a $40 collector doll, more than a $20 here your kids can play with it one. Her knee-high socks here have the spiderweb design, and honestly, they look pretty good. Seams in the back. So I like the overall boot design except for the heels. I do think one of the issues I've kind of had with Monster High is sometimes they just get kind of dumb with the way the heels are designed on a lot of their dolls. And again, I just think that this cello for the heel just looks bad. Again, they thought they were being clever, like with the snapping fingers. Would have been nice if they'd given us a regular hand to go with it, though. Her outfit wise, I mean, it's the school uniform. I'm kind of curious as to how many pieces it actually is. The belt is separate and can come off because it is plastic. Her jacket is attached to the skirt, although it is just attached with the little plastic nubbin thingies, so we'll go ahead and just break those off here. That was surprisingly difficult. Okay, so her jacket is a separate piece from the rest of her outfit, which is unfortunately just a dress and not a skirt and top like it should be, because it is a school uniform and the way the uniforms are designed in that show. Also, in order to save money, they did not put sleeves on her outfit. Although, strangely enough, they did actually... It is actually a fitted top, though, so that's kind of interesting. Not that you'd actually really see it under her jacket very well. The tie is just a separate piece that is, attached to the shirt part at the collar, which that's normal. I actually would rather that happen than when they sometimes do the cheap plastic ties and necklaces. The back does open up per normal, partially down to the skirt, and you can slide it off like normal. I see no point in doing so with this doll because we all know what Monster High bodies are like. However, she does have markings on the back of her back, and I'm trying to figure out, are those the production markings? Yeah, it looks like those are production markings. For a moment there, I actually thought she had a tattoo that said Wednesday and Monster High. Articulation-wise, like the standard G1 Monster High body that she's using, we have a ball joint in the neck that spins all around. Arms hinge up and can spin. We have a single joint in the elbow where we get the hinge and the spin. 90 degree, a little better than 90 degree technically. Spin at the hand and in and out articulation on the wrist. No waist articulation. She can kick forward very far, giving us a good high kick. She can do a good high front kick into somebody's face. Towards the back, she actually has some good articulation back there too. Boom. And this is all we get, though, for the outward articulation. She does have the built-in, looks like we have VD Warts panties, not colored. We can slip our backpack on. We could have done it with the jacket on too, but I don't know. I would have liked this better if it was a skirt and top situation and not just a dress. And then, of course, we can put her hand on her hand. We can put Thing on her shoulder, and he will stay on there pretty well. I thought maybe he was also designed to stay onto her like forearm, and maybe with the jacket on, he could, but not quite with the jacket off. Overall, the doll looks pretty good. It's a standard kind of Monster High head, so there's not much you can say about that other than, the deco on it came out fine. I don't notice any real eye wonk on here. Although I do know there are people who will actually put up an entire grid and take a picture just to make sure everything's evened out. But I'm perfectly fine with it the way it is. But like I said, I think it should have been a skirt and a top. And of course, the top should have some sleeves on it. But most people probably are just going to leave the jacket on her, especially if they're displaying her. Which I will actually put her back together that way too eventually. I do kind of wish they'd given her a standard wrist. And while the nails are painted, they kind of effed up on the thumbnail here, and the fingernail paint is more like on her knuckle than on her actual fingers there. But hey, they tried, I guess. Question is she worth $40 to you? It's mostly a licensing fee, I'm sure. Kind of like some of those other licensed dolls are like $65 or more. I still wish I'd gotten the Morticia and Younger Wednesday 2-pack. That was such a mess to try to get to, and I missed out, and I'm sad for that. But this is a pretty decent replacement, I guess. But hey, let me know what you guys think about this. And if you enjoyed my commentary on the doll, go ahead and subscribe. That'd be great. But thanks for watching. Peace and love.